All right. Okay, so we're gonna guys, let's talk about this. What do you guys think about this? Yeah. Sperm from donor with cancer cause genes that was okay, that was used to conceive almost 200 children. So basically this is a situation. This is a news article that happened 2 days ago. Recent, quite recent, and that's from the BBC. And it was saying that, sometimes some women wants to have their babies and want to have, just go to a donor facility to actually get that done, to get themselves artificially inseminated to have a baby. But imagine this, you go, you try to do that, but then what happened is years later, you find out that the sperm had cells or genes that would give that would put your baby in a situation or your child in a situation that they themselves will develop cancer. This is what this article is about. I haven't read it, I haven't went through it as yet, so we're gonna do this together. And basically it says a sperm donor who unknowingly harbored a genetic mutation that dramatically raised the risk of cancer has fathered at least 197 children across Europe. A major investigation was released. So imagine this. And for Alexander 1 2, what do you mean? For me, what is 1 2 for what? A baby or I don't know. Some children have already died, and only a majority who inherited the mutation will escape cancer in their lifetime. And this, yeah. Oh, this. Hmm. Yeah. Um, let's say the sperm was not sold to UK clinic, but the BBC can confirm a very small number of British families who have been informed use the donor sperm while having fertility treatment in Denmark. I don't know why ladies go to. I do get it, but ladies, isn't it better to be inseminated if you want to have a baby? Isn't it better that you get a guy to just do that and then, it's pleasurable and at the same time you can know the father of your child. I mean, rather than going through these taking this risk and not knowing who the father is gonna be. I mean, well, sometimes you can know, but not knowing who the father is gonna be and what gene he's gonna create, or you're gonna see the genes, or you can, it's like so cold. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, yeah, but guy would work. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Denmark European Sperm Bank, which sold the sperm, said family affected had their deepest sympathy and admitted the sperm was used to make too many babies in some countries. What was so special about that sperm? Lol, I wish twin to all my life. Yeah, what was special? What was special about that sperm though? That they had to give it to over almost 200 mothers so they can inseminate it, and yeah. So how do you guys feel about this situation of I do understand for some of you, you already have babies or you already have kids. It's not something that you would do, but I think it's this the process of actually being inseminated like this is so cold, you know. I mean, how you imagine if these ladies went into this environment saying, "Okay, we want the best baby or best genes," but then they didn't know these genes that they're gonna carry themselves have a high ability of creating cancer um, children. So up to 20% of the donor sperm contained a dangerous mutation that increased the risk of cancer. So The investigation has been conducted by 14 public service broadcasts, including the BBC, as part of the European Broadcasting Union investigation. Okay, the sperm came from an annoying man. I mean, yeah, yeah, anonymous. The sperm came from anonymous man who was paid to donate as a student starting in 2005. His sperm was used by women for around 17 years. Dang. So this guy, I wonder how old was he though? I think he was, I mean, if he was a student. So these sperms that these ladies are inseminating themselves with are from high school kids or college kids, to be honest. So not grown men, but high sometimes teenagers or early adults. Even if I didn't, I wouldn't do this. I would not do this. Yeah. It's not, yeah, I don't get it. But why people would do this, it's like, yeah, you must really have a deep hate for men to actually go and do this. Oh, what would be the reason other than that? And the worst case is like when they do this, when some women who does the artificial insemination and then they go for the father and put him in child support. This is crazy. He is healthy. So basically, at 17 years, they've been using this guy's sperm, this student sperm, for 17 years, basically across Europe. And another thing too about this situation, do they keep track of the person that they sold the sperm to? Because what if they become siblings? What if, like, for example, there's been situation, I think somewhere in the, I was seeing about this in the US, but it happened in other countries, that um a lot of siblings were getting together, because back then, people used to have a lot more kids than now. But a lot of siblings were getting together and having babies, and they didn't even know. And the way they found out is when their babies came out, not normal. So imagine this now, this guy's sperm that has been given out or sold to these women for 17 years. So now, like, what if they meet each other and then all of a sudden they don't know that they are siblings? And for some reason, sometimes DNA can have like a magnetic pull. But if they don't know that they are siblings, so they have no way to actually understand, okay, why do we have that magnetic connection? So it's like inbreeding, to be honest. So he is healthy and passed the donor screening check. However, the DNA in some of his cells mutated before he was born. So it damaged the TP51 genes, which has the crucial role of preventing the body cells turning cancerous. Wow. So these cells that prevent the body from turning cancerous was damaged. Most of the donor's body does not contain the damage from TP53, but up to 20% of his sperm do. Okay, so they found out after the fact, after these ladies have actually inseminated themselves, over 197 of them. Afterwards, that's when they found out. So, however, any children made from affected sperm will have the mutation in every cells of their bodies. This is scary. So they are showing here a map, why children are at risk from the donor's sperm. So it's showing, like, imagine four corners, four. So the first one here to the left, top left, is the TP53 helps the body prevent cancer, but mutation can stop it from working. And the top right, the corner, the donor is unaffected by the mutation, but it is present in up to fifth of his sperm, so 20%. So the bottom left corner, it says if mutated sperm are used in IVF, the mutation would end up in every cells in the child's body. Okay, bottom right, the last one. The resulting child has up to 90% risk of developing cancer in their lifetime, including breast cancer, bone cancers, brain tumors, childhood cancers like leukemia. This is scary though. These None of these women actually knew this, but then yeah, if they knew, of course they wouldn't go for it. But so at this point, are they gonna look for compensation from the donor, not from the donor or from the facilities that gave these women these contaminated sperm? This is really scary. Um, where the donor sperm came from. Okay, there's actually an entire map of where the donor cell came from. Again, no thank you. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm doing this for more awareness of the ladies who want to have artificial insemination to be aware of this. So basically it's like to say to have these facilities tested, these these sperm, to actually make sure that they are healthy themselves, or that they don't have no mutation or hidden mutation cells in them that can cause such situation that we are actually seeing right now. And this is a recent story. Yes, they need to be aware indeed. This is a really new story that's actually just 2 days ago they found out, or they've been doing the research, but they published it 2 days ago. This is known as Lee Family syndrome, and come with up to 90% chance of developing cancer, particularly during childhood, as well as breast cancer later in life. And this dreadful diagnosis, Professor Claire Turnbull, a cancer geneticist at the Institute of, is very challenging diagnosed to land and the family. Okay, yes. MRI scan of the body and the brain are needed every year, as well as abdominal ultrasound to try to spot tumors. Women often choose to have their breast removed to lower their risk of cancer. Wow, that's harsh. The European Sperm Bank said that the donor himself and his family members are not ill, and such a mutation is not detected preventatively by genetic screening. Okay. They said they immediately blocked the donor once the problem with his sperm was discovered. Okay, but that's like after the fact. So basically they're saying there's no way to actually test if, how many people, how many IVF kids, or how many people who have done this process of IVF who had babies from people or from sperm from different men who didn't know, who carry such diseases. At least if you're dealing with a real person, then you can know, okay, you can ask the person, or if the person is open to tell you what are the diseases that they are actually dealing with. And you can also have your own instincts or your own determination to define, to understand, to say, to conclude whether if this person is someone that you want to have a child with or not. But doing it through that process, like, just give me one, or or they can say, okay, well, this person is that, but they can always tell you a story to make you just choose that person. And yeah, it's really a strange process, I find. Okay, children have died. Doctors who were seeing children with cancer linked to sperm donation raised concern at the European Society of Human Genetics this year. The report, they had found 23 with the variant out of 64 7 children known at this time. Then 10 had already been diagnosed with cancer. Sheesh. This is tough. 10 kids already been diagnosed with cancer. I mean, they were even before, so the sperm was already contaminated, to be honest. Through freedom of information request, the interviewer with the doctor and patients, we can reveal substantially more children were born to the donor. So it was actually more than 200 children was born to this donor. The figure is at least 197 children, but that may not be the final number, as the data has not been obtained from all countries. It is almost known how many of these children inherited the dangerous variant. So this is interesting though. So it's like, wow, this is interesting. Sheesh. Maybe, wow. So this guy, so a lot of women who have donor, they are they go to this route of IVF. They actually have their babies or their child actually have multiple siblings all across Europe, all across the world that they don't even know about, because they still carry their father's genes. So I used to think that, okay, when it comes to IVF and this situation, what they would do is everyone they will do it just like a human being. Everyone will get their own tray of person. Okay, you wanna like, if you would go as a lady, you go to these facilities or to these clinics, and then you say, okay, you want to have a baby, you go through the process and stuff like that. They give you your own sperm to inseminate yourself with, or they do the process for you, of course. But you will get only that person. Nobody else will get the same sperm from that same father. But apparently, this is not how they do it. So this situation, they've been given the same sperm from the same guy to multiple people for over 17 years. So I don't know if people actually were aware of this, but that's eye-opening, because I used to think it's the other way around, that you get one person from one person. But again, I guess they have a sperm shortage, or they just have these genes of this guy. They're just like, okay, we should push this gene forward. And okay, France, let me see. We have some children who have developed already 2 different cancers, and some of them already died at a very early age. Ooh. What do you do in that situation if your child already died at a very early age and you paid for the insemination? That's really strange. Celine, not a real name, okay, is a single mother in France whose child was conceived with the donor's sperm 14 years ago and has the mutation. She got a call from the fertility clinic she used in Belgium, urging her to get her daughter screened. Dang. She said she has absolutely no hard feelings towards the donor, but say it was unacceptable. She was given a sperm that wasn't clean and wasn't safe, that carried a risk. I mean, she can say yeah, it's true. She can say she felt bad because of the donor. I mean, she says she's have no bad feelings towards him. I hopefully this guy doesn't get in trouble for this, but it wouldn't be his fault though. Probably he didn't know. Probably he had no idea. But they say that he has his own family already, and his own family doesn't have any of these bad mutation in his body. But dang, this is really sad stuff. I mean, ladies, if you want to get inseminated, find a man. I mean, yeah. Anyway, you guys gonna do whatever you feel like doing, anyways, at the end of the day. But I hopefully this situation doesn't happen to you. Although it says there is no sure way of actually testing the quality of the sperm, but again, I guess they will just test the quality of the person itself, or the health status of the person. Um, So she says she has absolutely no, okay, I already got that. She, no cancer will be looming over them for the rest of their lives. Yep, yep. Hi, yes. Um, Hola. We don't know when, we don't know which one, we don't know how many. She says, I understand that there's a high chance it's going to happen, and when it does, we'll fight. And if if there are several, we'll fight several times. Ugh, that's tough. Okay, so where was the donor sperm sent? Okay, the European Sperm Bank. So if you're in these countries and you have had any artificial insemination, IVF, pay attention to these areas. Nice here, but I have to go. Okay. All right, next time. Um, so Germany is one, Greece, Georgia is one, Spain, and Ireland. Countries where the sperm was sent to fertility clinics. So these countries: Germany, Ireland, Georgia, and Greece. Oh, and also Iceland. Sheesh, this guy he have kids everywhere. Oh wow. He has kids. The sperm was used. Wow. The sperm was used by 67 fertility clinic and 14 countries. 14 countries, but I read just less than that. Okay. But I think this is you can't screen for everything. Okay, and 14 countries, but sheesh. But why do they do this though? Why do they send his sperm to all these countries? Why don't they? Who was this guy? What made him so special for them to send his sperm to so many countries, to so many facilities or fertility clinics and stuff like that? Did you guys thought this is the way that it works, the fertility clinics? Do you guys thought or ever thought how it worked? And is this new for you guys? So you can't screen, not screen. You can't screen for everything. Who used to run blah blah blah. Okay, blah 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 blah. You see, um, not important. Okay. So basically, it's saying that you can't screen for everything. We only accept 1% or 2% of all men that apply to be a sperm donor and the current screening arrangement. So if we make it even tighter, we wouldn't have any sperm donor. That's where the balance lies. Okay, sure. Okay. What if you considered using a sperm donor? Wow, okay. I think that's about it. I think this is going too far. I mean, too long. But again, ladies, um, for a donor. Okay, the European Society. Okay, there was this last part I wanna show. The European Society of Human Reproduction and Embryology has recently suggested a limit of 50 families per donor. Okay, all right. So from one sperm, wow, from one time the guy could do his thing and then he can inseminate 50 times. Wow. So there was this situation where a man have fathered 550 children through sperm donation, whether it should be through limits. This is interesting. Yeah, a guy who has fathered, sheesh. Maybe I need to give some sperm too, so I can father some more children, some children like that. You wouldn't? I mean, if you ladies, if you had that ability, wouldn't you do it? Sheesh. This case, this case, alongside that of a man who has ordered to stop after fathering 550 children through sperm donation, has again raised question over whether there should be a limit. Okay, there is a limit. Yeah. You said nope. Why would you nope lol? Yeah, why would you didn't do well, yeah. Why would you not do it? That's a question. Yeah, I mean maybe I should donate some sperm so I can get some send it everywhere. Next thing I know, you know, what do you guys think?